First of all, angle AOB is equal to angle COD. So vertically opposite angles. Okay. And next is AO is equal to OC. This is given because the diagonals bisect each other. Also, you have OB is equal to OD. This is also given. So therefore, these two triangles are congruent. By what axiom? Can anyone say by what axiom?
So SAS.
SAS. So you'll write SAS axiom. These two triangles are congruent. Now, once I've proved that these two triangles are congruent, see that opposite to this equal side is this angle and opposite to this equal side is this angle. So therefore, these two angles must be equal by CPCT. But these two are alternate angles. So therefore, this side must be parallel to this side. Okay. So therefore, we write here angle OAB is equal to angle OCD, CPCT. But these are alternate angles. So therefore, we can say AB parallel to DC. Fine. So we have proved these two sides are parallel. Now we can show that these two, similarly, we can show these two triangles also congruent. You don't need to prove the congruency. You just write similarly. Similarly, triangle AOD is congruent to triangle COB. OB. So therefore, if these two triangles are congruent, then which two angles are equal here? Therefore, this angle must be equal to this angle, right? So therefore, you write angle OAD is equal to angle OCB. This is by CPCT. But these are alternate angles. Okay, so therefore, what are these two sides are also parallel? This side parallel to this side. So we write AD parallel to BC. So thus, what have we shown? Thus, ABCD is a quadrilateral in which the opposite sides are parallel. And what is that quadrilateral called in which opposite sides are parallel?
So parallelogram.
Hence, ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, in the book you might see this proof done a little differently. Okay, in this in the book, what they have done is they have used one theorem to prove this theorem, but I have not used any theorem to prove this theorem. You can either go through my proof or you can go through the book's proof, whichever you find it better. Okay, so till this part, my proof and book proof are the same till your this part. Okay, after this, my proof starts differing. Okay, so that is what. Now let us move. Once we have discussed all the theorems, now I would like to move on to the quadrilateral part of this exercise. Okay, that is all the rectilinear figures. Now, what is a rectilinear figure? In the beginning only, I told you a rectilinear figure is a figure that is made up of straight lines. Okay, so any figure made up of straight line is called a rectilinear figure. Quadrilateral are special types of rectilinear figures in which they are bounded by 4 straight lines. Okay, these figures are bounded by 4 straight lines. And the classification of quadrilaterals also I have discussed with you back in class 8, and I have discussed with you in the beginning of this chapter also that there are 3 types of quadrilateral: trapezium, parallelogram, and kite. Okay, trapezium, you have a special type of trapezium which is called the isosceles trapezium. Okay, and um, among parallelograms, the special type of parallelograms are rhombus, rectangle, and square. Okay, and kite is another type of quadrilateral. This I have discussed many times. Now we move on to the properties of the quadrilateral. First quadrilateral that we consider is trapezium. Now we have already discussed all this. All is written in detail. Just try to understand the properties. Only the proof of theorems on parallelogram are required. Otherwise, all other proofs are not required. Okay, so trapezium. What is a trapezium? Remember the definition. A quadrilateral in which any 2 sides are parallel. Any 2 sides are parallel is called a trapezium. So if I have these 2 sides, suppose for quadrilateral as parallel, so ABCD is your trapezium here, in which these 2 sides AB is parallel to these. So I said any 2 sides are parallel, then this is a trapezium. So this forms the trapezium. So this is a parallel sides. And the other 2 sides are called the non-parallel sides. Okay. These 2 sides are called the non-parallel sides of the trapezium. Okay. Now, there is no special property of trapezium. When solving sums on trapezium, the only fact that we use is that the sum of interior angles of a trapezium is 360 degrees. There is no special property of a trapezium. But what is a special trapezium is called an isosceles trapezium. And this has just one property. Isosceles trapezium is a special kind of a trapezium in which the non-parallel sides are equal. In which these 2 sides, the non-parallel sides, are equal. Okay. AB, AD in fact, where AD is equal to BC. Non-parallel sides are equal. Okay. And the special property of this parallelogram, of this trapezium, is that the base angles of this trapezium will be equal. Okay. Let me give a parallel sign here. So these 2 sides are parallel. The base angle, what do you mean by base angles? These are the base angles. These 2 angles will be equal. That is a special property. Also, these 2 angles will be equal. Okay. That is the property that I have written here. Okay, here. You can go through this. This is the only property of isosceles trapezium, that the base angles of an isosceles trapezium are equal. I have mentioned this to you back in class 8 also, and I mentioned this to you here also. Now, one thing which I would like to ask you is, can anyone tell me why these 2 base angles are equal? Anyone?
Because they are parallel.
No.
And
You-
equal.
Sir, because of right angle triangle that we will draw.
No. Because in an isosceles trapezium, this I had not mentioned back, this I had not mentioned to you in class 8. In an isosceles trapezium, if you draw, if you complete this triangle here, that is, you join the height, Okay. If we join the heights, suppose DM and CN are the heights of the trapezium, then you can show that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. Okay, that is triangle AMD is congruent to triangle PNC. You can show that these two triangles are congruent, and therefore what you can also say by CPCT is that this AM will be equal to NB. Okay, so note, clear with this? Can you do the proof on your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this, remember this, that in an isosceles trapezium, these two will be equal. But if the trapezium is not isosceles, then you cannot say that these two are equal. In this case, this is not an isosceles trapezium. So if I join these two, then I cannot say that this length and this length are equal. Okay, remember this. Only if it is an isosceles trapezium, only then we can say that these two lengths are equal. Okay, so that completes your isosceles trapezium. One more thing that they mention is, but we don't use, that if you have a midpoint here, and if you have a midpoint here of this side, and if you join these two with the help of a straight line, preferably a dotted line that I have shown you in the figure, this straight line is called the median of trapezium ABCD. We don't use this concept much, but you can just take a note. Median of trapezium ABCD. Trapezium is abbreviated as TRAP, trap. Okay. So that is what, remember the property. So I just repeat, the property of an isosceles trapezium is that the base angles are equal. Okay. Also, you can take note of this because we'll be using this, especially in mensuration. You require this concept. AM is equal to NB. Okay. Take note of this also. Okay. Parallelograms. All the theorems on parallelograms I have covered. Okay. I'll just go through very briefly over all the theorems. Okay, properties of parallelogram. First property is the diagonal divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. You know that already. Okay, so you have parallelogram. So you can show that this triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. This you can show. Okay, if you join the diagonal AC. If you join the other diagonal also, no problem. Even then the triangles will be congruent. If you join this diagonal, in this you can say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. Okay, so in this case these two triangles are congruent, and in this case these two triangles are congruent, the proof of which we have already discussed, right? Let's see the next property. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. You already know this, right? That the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. We have done the proof also, so no need to cover this once again. But the converse of this is important, that if the converse that I've written here, if you see, in any quadrilateral, if I give you, I don't know whether this is a parallelogram or not. This looks like a parallelogram, but what additionally, if I give you that the opposite sides are equal. So if I give you AB is equal to DC, and if I give you AD is equal to BC, then you can conclude, the proof of which I have already shown you, you can conclude that ABCD is a parallelogram. But remember, both the opposite sides must be given, not only one. Okay, so AB is equal to DC and AD is equal to BC. Both must be given. Otherwise, you will not be able to conclude. Okay. Property number 3. In a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. This also you have done back in class 8. You have a parallelogram. ABCD opposite angles will be equal. This angle will be equal to this angle, and this angle will be equal to this angle. You already know this, right? So no point going over this. So if it is given to you that ABCD is a parallelogram, then what should be your conclusion? According to this theorem, conclusion is angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D. Fine. So that finishes this property. Again, the converse of this property is what is important. Okay. Because this property you have already done. The converse of this is important. What is the converse? That if I give you any quadrilateral, which I don't know whether it is a parallelogram or not. And in this quadrilateral, if I give you that these two angles are equal, that the opposite angles are equal, and if I give you these two angles are equal. So if I give you ABCD is a quadrilateral, in which angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D, then what can you conclude? You will directly say, yes, sir, this is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. Fine. That is the third property, the proof of which we have already discussed under the theorems. Okay. Next property is if any pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal and parallel. Let me write it in this only. ABCD is a quadrilateral. It is given to you in which I give you that the opposite sides are equal. I give you that AB is equal to DC. And I also give you that AD is equal to BC. Then you can conclude that ABCD is a parallelogram. Then you can say, yes, sir, this has to be a parallelogram. Conclusively, you can say that this is a parallelogram. Okay. Fine. Next theorem is if I give you any quadrilateral, next property, in fact, that just the converse of this. Okay, in this case, if you see, I had given to you this, that ABCD is a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are equal. Okay. And you concluded that this is a parallelogram. Okay. Oh, okay. This was the converse of this one. That if the opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel and equal, so these two are converses of each other. Okay. The next property is that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Many times you have done this. ABCD is a parallelogram. If I call this point O, so if I give you ABCD is a parallelogram with AC and BD as its diagonals. What can you conclude? Your conclusion is that OA must be equal to OC and OB must be equal to OD. Okay. So diagonals bisect each other. Now the converse of this property. Converse means just the reverse of this. Now this becomes your given, the conclusion becomes your given, and the given becomes your conclusion. Okay, the converse of this property is ABCD is any quadrilateral in which the diagonals bisect each other. I don't know whether this is a parallelogram or not, but I give you that ABCD is a quadrilateral in which the diagonals bisect each other. In which OA is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. Then your conclusion has to be that ABCD must be a parallelogram. Conclusively, you can say there is no doubt about it. Okay, so that is what is the converse, and this covers all the theorems and all the properties of parallelograms. Okay, but what is it that you see the difference between class 8 and class 9 that you are learning? In class 8 you had done all the direct theorems, and in class 9 you are actually doing the converse of all the theorems also, right? So that is the difference between class 8 and class 9. Next figure is rhombus. Now because rhombus is a special kind of a parallelogram, it will have all the properties of a parallelogram. As I told you in class 8 also, all the properties of parallelogram will hold good for rhombus also. Okay. But what is a rhombus? A parallelogram in which all the sides are equal. Or you can say the adjacent sides are equal. A parallelogram in which the adjacent sides are equal. Adjacent sides equal in a parallelogram means all sides equal. Okay, so we define the rhombus as a parallelogram in which adjacent sides are equal or all sides are equal. Okay, so all the properties of parallelogram will hold. Whatever properties we have done till now for parallelogram, all will hold for a rhombus. But what are the three special properties? The three special properties of a rhombus will be that the diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisectors of each other. What do you mean by perpendicular bisectors of each other? That the diagonals will be perpendicular to each other, and additionally they will bisect each other. This is property number 1, which you can read here. Okay, we have done this, discussed this in class 8 also. Okay, next property, and also an important property, is that the diagonals of a rhombus will bisect the interior angles of the rhombus. That means if I have these two as my diagonals of the rhombus, then these will bisect the interior angles of the rhombus. That means this angle here must be equal to this angle here. This angle here must be equal to this angle here. And similarly, because the opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal, therefore, if you take whatever is the value of this angle will be the value of this angle, right? So therefore, these two angles will also be equal. So you can, if you take this to be x, this to be x, this will be x, this will be x. Also, if you take this to be y, this will be y, and if you take this will also be y, and this will also be y. Clear with this property, or any question? No question?
sir.
So there are additionally, apart from all the properties of parallelogram, you have only two special properties of rhombus. Okay. Rectangles. What is a rectangle? A rectangle is also a parallelogram. But what kind of parallelogram? It is that kind of parallelogram in which one of the interior angles, remember definition is one of the interior angles, not all. In the property, we'll see that all the interior angles are 90 degrees. But from the definition, we must learn is that a parallelogram in which one angle is the right angle. Okay, so all the properties of parallelogram will hold here. The definition is a parallelogram in which one interior angle is a right angle. Okay. And we have certain additional properties. The first property will be that each interior angle of a rectangle is 90 degrees. So not only one angle, but all the angles here will be 90 degrees. Okay. That is one property. The next property is that the diagonals of a rectangle will be equal. In case of a rhombus, are the diagonals equal in length? In case of a parallelogram, are the diagonals equal in length? No. But in case of a rectangle, the diagonals will be equal in length. That means AC must be equal to BD. Okay. This is another property of rectangle. Okay. So that's what I stop here.